welcome back. We are on episode 7. Over to my gran.
Here we go, continuing our little journey of farming. Farming is very different to town life, especially to when you used to do everything that happens in towns. You've got lights automatically, electric stoves automatically. And when I got on the farm, I found that's quite a different. But first, number one was our staff on the farm were like family. And I was given two young girls to come and help me in the house and in the kitchen. Now, there was a problem. I couldn't speak Zulu and they couldn't speak English. So what do? One day I walked into my kitchen and she was drying my dishes with a duster. I was absolutely horrified. But as time wore on, when you find you've got to do something, things began to turn around a bit and we managed to understand each other. Now, another problem was lights. As I say, in a town, you just switch your lights on. Now, our lights were worked from a plant where they had a generator and batteries, and the generator had to be started every night if we wanted lights. So if somebody hadn't started the generator, you were so dim you couldn't see anything. But we overcame that, and we managed to iron that problem out. Next thing was, what I learned was how important it is on a farm that all your, whatever you need is there, because we used to supply milk to the dairies, and with that every morning we alternatively were given a 10-gallon can to separate. One day it would be my mother-in-law's and the next day it would be mine. And when you separated that milk, you got a huge big dish of cream, which you then could churn and make your own butter. So, I mean, expenses there was nil. We used to get our milk from the dairies. And one of the things I learned, it always looked so easy to milk a cow. And whenever they were short-staffed, my husband used to go and help them. And one day I decided I would like to try. It looked so easy. Well, it looked easy, but my goodness me, it was quite a job. It wasn't something you could just tackle. You had to know what you were doing. So there's something else I found out. And this is all the hiccups that come in farming, you soon manage to overcome. And what I want to say is, farming today is nothing like it was in the old days. In the old, things were so different. As I said, your staff were more like your family, and not only that, there was always a togetherness. The neighbours were always one. If the neighbours wanted to help, you'd help your neighbour. But eventually, the first baby came along, and that was a little girl. And she was the first girl in the Usher family. And living so close to my mother-in-law, she was literally spoilt. She was more Granny and Grandpa's child than she was mine. About 2 years later, the little boy arrived, which was so much better. But the problem was the little girl was getting spoilt and the little boy was getting left out. Anyway, time moved on. And one of the funny stories I must tell about this was when the little boy got a little bit older. You know, we also used to sell pigs to the bacon factory. And when the sows had their babies, you couldn't sell a male pig. You had to operate on it, castrate it. Only then was it edible to eat. And my husband used to do that. And the sow had a lot of babies. And this is exactly what he was doing. So I said I sent my little son, I said, go and tell your father it's breakfast time. He must come. He was away for a little while. Next thing, this little soul comes running. He says, Mummy, Daddy can't come and have breakfast. So I said, why not? Because he's operating on the boy pigs and he's making them into girl pigs. So that was one of the jokes. So for now, I'm going to leave it there and concoct, well, I'll be able to tell you a lot more stories that happened on this farm. By the way, our farm was close to Haaflets. It was 17 kilometers from Haaflets. So we were really out in the sticks. There was no, whatever we wanted, there was a butcher in Haaflets, and we could order meat which would come down with the bus. But other than that, you grew your own vegetables, you had your own fowls, you had your own eggs, and everything was there. So until we meet again, have a good evening and good night.